Guys, it's Amber, and I'm going to be showing you several clips here of working on some of the next day. Um, Lots of little pieces here of just jumping around, finding places and homes for things that I kind of had pre-staged. So I'm working on day 8 here, getting my heart and patch attached there. And here I was trying to figure out some photos for the next day. I had this hotel pamphlet and I was going to trim it out, and then I realized I had this one 4x6 photo that actually fit on there pretty well. And I thought it was a unique way to add a photo and still use the ephemera, kind of covering it up, and have it be just something outside of a page protector and just a smaller size. So something you could touch and move. And so I'm using some stronger adhesive here because it will be on the outside of a page protector. I'm just going to attach it down. It'll just cover like the photos advertising what the hotel looks like basically, but on the back it has a map and it shows where we were staying, which is kind of fun. So I did briefly consider using that as an enlargement on the left hand side there because at this time I don't have one planned, but I do end up printing something else. So I just grab my quarter hole punch, add some holes, and bam, right in the album. And I actually really like the way that this looks. So the next thing I'm going to be working on here is I have some 4x6 photos, and I haven't quite yet figured out that I actually have duplicates of the same photo, so I'm only going to have 3 and not 4. But I'm grabbing a page protector. I keep them stored in Becky Higgins 12x12 Project Life albums with dividers between them. For this one, I'm going to trim off 2/3 of it and only use the left-hand side where there's going to be 4 verticals. And I'm going to have to punch new holes because it's a 3-hole and this is a 4-hole protector album. So I'm going to get the holes punched, and then I will start deciding which photos will go on which side. I have like a close-up of the stern, a picture of my friend and her husband, and then a picture of her and I on the back. And then here I have this photo I really love of all the boats lined up at the marina, and it's a horizontal one, and I thought about how it would look if I did decide to make it a 6x12 for the left-hand side there, but I decided that I still had a couple more other photos that I could use, and that I was going to find something else for that day, which eventually you'll see here in a little bit. So what I'm doing is I have some 3x4s I'm adding in, and I just cut down some more page protector, a piece that I've been using from the Michaels Recollections collection as a filler pocket. And I'm going to use some of these puppy heart stickers from Ellie Edwards. I'm just kind of choosing which blue will work better with the photos. And I'm going to do something that I've been doing several times throughout the album here, where I just do a double back-to-back puffy heart. And I did this in another recent travel album, and I actually really like the way these look. It's just a really simple centered embellishment. It's still transparency, but it just adds a little something. So I think it's going to become like a signature thing. So I added a darker blue one to the front, a lighter blue to the back, and then I realized the photo of me where I'm looking in would look better on the outside. So just kind of preference there and deciding how things will look and just making some decisions. I have these pleather tags sitting by my keyboard waiting to be used at some point. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll tuck it into this pocket there and hold on to that thought for now. So next I am making a double wide or a 2-page spread with a 12x12 photo. So I'm just double checking the measurements that it's really 12x12 and just trimmed a tiny little sliver off the edge, and then I'm going to cut it right in half. And the only embellishment that's going to get added to that is one little puffy sticker above the postcard row that I added before I printed it in a font called Eveleth. And there is the photo that I finally decided to use on the page opener. It's a picture of a stingray right outside a hotel, like looking down into the water. It's not the best picture in the world. I actually had to do quite a bit of cleanup because the water looked really dirty, but I just kind of thought that that would be fun, and it shows that we were near the water and something that I don't see on the East Coast, hardly at all. So it was kind of fun. And then here I am just planning the last 6x12 enlargement for this little mini spread here. So that is actually a picture of the full house that they use for like the intro of all the shows. So I decided instead of putting it on the front, because we did actually go see it before we went to Postcard Road, that I was going to put it at the back and have the other half of that city paper from American Crafts be there instead, just kind of showing that we were at the boat and then we're sort of back in the city. And then on the right hand side there, I'm pulling more pictures out from Postcard Row. So the entire project, I kept this Shutterfly envelope on the right hand side right at the ready so that I could grab my next set of photos as I was working the whole time. And I have that card there that has like all the houses stacked together kind of on a hill. I think it is a Simple Stories card from their more recent travel collection. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty positive on that. And I thought that that was just a cute little card to help fill some space. So right now you're seeing when I do like a huge like photo selection process. So like I already know all these photos are going in. I'm just pre-staging, which is something I explained in my previous video, which came out a couple weeks ago now, of my day 7 number 2 process, where I'm just filling in the pockets and trying to get everything organized and set, and then I go back and embellish. Here I have a 4x6 that, like, I had printed these photos a year ago, so if I was redoing this, I could have shrunk that photo down and made it a 3x4, but instead it's actually cropped well enough that I could just use my photo template and then from Simple Stories there and trim it down. So often when I'm making a book like this, I go forward and backwards quite a bit just to see how things are looking, what the flow looks like, if I'm missing anything. That yellow notepad to my right there under my water cup is actually the list of things that we did in order that day. So we visited the marina, we went to the Full House house, we went to Postcard Row, then we rode the trolley from the top of the city down to the bottom. Then here I am working on staging photos for Kara's Cupcakes. I had a little picture menu and then a description menu that I actually was going to punch holes in, and I actually get to the point where I almost punch it right here, and then last minute I go, you know what, let me put this in my ephemera pocket. So I've had this 6x12 pocket sitting around to put all my extra pieces in, just like that. And that little piece on the left hand side is like a sticker that was on the label of the box, I believe. So I'm just getting the ephemera out, seeing what I want to use, grabbing these pamphlets. That one that I just opened is going to end up going in the ephemera pocket, and then this map I'm actually going to end up cutting up, but not for a little bit yet. I'm sort of just still seeing exactly what I have and making decisions. And then the last thing that I have is this Joe's Crab Shack business card. I grabbed business cards for everywhere we went. That one, I decided to take a 1 3/4 inch hole punch and just punch out the logo and just add it to the photo. I actually wish now that I had added it to the bottom of the photo and trimmed off that black and white part, because it just looks out of place, and like had it interacting with the edges. But I was actually just like, I cropped out like the ketchup or something by putting it on the left hand side and trimming it that way. But not a big deal. Doesn't make or break the album. I just think it would have looked better if I had cropped off the black part on the bottom. So jumping now into some embellishing that I'm doing. I found a card that sort of matches the color of that ticket in the Ali Edwards 2019 travel collection. So I'm just adding my trolley ticket to the card, and then I have this set of stickers from the 2019 travel collection with those little icons, and I had picked the little train, and I had this idea while I was thumbing through and looking for product, because I also found these gray icon puppy stickers from a previous collection, probably the 2018 travel collection, and I was like, oh, this sign with the wavy arrow would be perfect for Lombard Street. So I went back, added that in, and then I was like, oh, I've had this little piece of ephemera sitting in this pocket for a while. I've made the decision it's staying there. let me glue that back down. So I'm kind of like finishing up little things as I go along, as I'm finding them, as I'm flipping through the pages, inspecting that one to see if I wanted to add one of these little stickers, changing my mind and deciding not to at that time. Looked at that digital card there that I created, and just added a little sunshine because it was like a nice bright sunny part of the day, and I didn't really have anything else that would go there, and it fit in that little spot perfectly. Just gave it a little something. And then I looked to see if I had anything like hotel related, and then I realized that in the bottom row there is a little sailboat. So I added some not word phrase stickers, I added letter stickers from Kelly Perky and that little sailboat to spell out Fifth Street Marina. Cropped most of that out because that's very time consuming as I space everything out, but I still wanted to show you how it looked. And here I am adding the papers back to back because I've made the decisions and this is what is going to stay. And on the right hand side there you see that San Francisco card. It's actually from In a Creative Bubble from their San Francisco digital pack. So I printed that out and just added it into the center. My worry was that this would look like a new page day opener, so I wanted to keep any hearts or anything off, and I was just kind of wanting to use that card basically. And so you can see there I added in a trolley teal card that said San Francisco from the Simple Stories travel collection. Within like the past 6 months or so, I believe that came out. So I added that card in. And now here I'm taking some ephemera from that Kara's Cupcakes, adding it into an old Kelly Perky card that I basically chose because it was like a really great bright pink and the words on there also kind of made sense. And you'll see there that I tucked that card into the left hand side, which had the label right above the bag in my photo on the bottom, directly above each other. So I realized that needed to move. And I picked an Ellie's Studio journaling card there, wrote out our journaling, and I hadn't decided yet what was going to go in the top of that label. And then I thought of adding more letter stickers, picking a Kelly Perky pink set again, and I actually end up spelling out winner. I didn't want to write Kara's Cupcakes or cupcakes because it's like really obvious what it is, but we had tried 4 types of cupcakes during this week vacation, and this one was like one of the best ones we'd tried. And that was including like Sprinkles Cupcakes and like a local one in South Pasadena. So I just spelled out winner. And I think a little bit of my journaling has to do with that. So adding it to the back of this card here from when we went to dinner down near the Fisherman's Wharf. And then I'm starting to use this enlarged map from the brochure here. I'm going to be cropping it into a 6x12, and what I'm doing is I'm laying the page protector over it, deciding which part I'm going to crop, and then I trim around it. Like I basically narrow it down by making little cuts. That way I don't accidentally trim something wrong, and it's definitely way too big for a trimmer or anything like that. So I'm just getting it down to where I want it to be, getting closer and closer, and then I will actually put it on my 12x12 trimmer so that it has nice clean edges. There's my old Making Memories trimmer, and so this is actually a different project that I'm going to be working on. So this is going to be towards the end of the video here. I decided to make some city acetate dividers is the best way I could describe it. I remembered that I had old Ellie Edwards travel words, and so I took this black like gunmetal vinyl, I think it's called, and I cut out San Francisco and Los Angeles in like a huge 12-inch long font here from her handwriting, and I intentionally had it go off the edge. And what I'm going to do is just take a normal piece of clear plain acetate and have it be on the right hand side vertically, and then have those be 2 city dividers to kind of help. Even though it says San Francisco all over my album, I wanted the opportunity to one, have like a unique divider for each part of the trip, and just to use some product and play a little bit, and I just thought these came out really, really cool. So I'm very happy with how they came out. So right there I'm using my basic gray grid magnetic mat. I don't use it very often, but I use it for, especially for vinyls, to help me line things up and make sure they're straight. That thing in the middle is my magnets. I don't take them out of the packaging. I just throw the magnets on top of whatever I'm working on. And it was fine enough for what I needed. And this is like extra strong sticky backing. So I'm just using my hand to help push it down as I'm pulling it out. And like I said, very, very happy with how these came out. So I actually intentionally left it not quite perfectly off the edge to the right, and I'm going to trim like maybe 1/8 of an inch off the right hand side with my trimmer. But I will leave you with a close-up of what those came out like, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.